One of the first reruns and also one important character from this patch summer event, the Sumeru Elegant Dancer, is visiting us once again for her second rerun. Nilou is focused on transforming the boring bloom reaction into a new type of reaction that ends up being the DPS for your teams. In this video, I will talk about everything you need to know about Nilou, how she works, how to build her, who is good with her, and most important, if she's still worth your wishes. Just before the video starts, don't forget to leave your like and your sub, especially if you are going to pull for her because you like those dance moves. A lot of you on that side watch my videos, but don't leave your sub or a like. We have a video every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would be glad if you could help me with that. All my links are in the description if you are interested, and for those who wish to support me even more, you can always become a member. Now that I said everything, let's explain Nilou's kit. Nilou is a 5-star Hydro Sword user focused on transforming the bloom reaction to turn that into the main source of damage in your teams. On her normal attacks, Nilou performs up to 3 consecutive strikes, and on her charge attack, she consumes a certain amount of stamina to perform a twirling slash. When you use her skill, Dance of Haftkar, Nilou will enter the pirouette state, dealing hydro damage to nearby opponents based on her max HP. While she's in this state, her normal attacks will cause her to enter the sword dance, unleashing illusions that deal hydro damage to opponents it touches and converting her normal attacks into sword dance techniques. And her final hit will unleash a luminous illusion, but if instead of using her normal attacks you use her skill again, she will enter the whirling step stance, unleashing a water ring that deals AoE hydro damage and creates a tranquility aura that follows your active character around and applies wet to opponents within his AoE. To summarize, when you press her skill, you will have to choose to spam normal attacks or the skill right after. If you use normal attacks, your attacks will be infused with hydro, and if you press your skill, you will create a water ring that applies hydro even off field, but it's worth to know that the ring does not do damage. And if you wish to use her slashes, keep in mind that they are considered skill damage. On her burst, Dance of Abzenji, Distant Dreams, Listening Spirit, Nilou deals AoE hydro damage based on her max HP and applies the lingering Aeon effect to all opponents hit. After an interval, opponents affected by the lingering Aeon will take hydro damage again. With her first exploration passive, White Jade Lotus, when perfect cooking is achieved on a food with adventure related effects, there is a 12% chance of obtaining double the product. With her first ascension passive, Court of Dancing Petals, when all characters in the party are from the Dendro or Hydro element, with at least one Dendro character and one Hydro character, the completion of the third dance step for her skill will grant all nearby characters a Golden Chalice's bounty for 30 seconds. This will increase the elemental mastery of all nearby characters by 100 for 10 seconds whenever they are hit by Dendro attacks. Also, triggering the bloom reaction will create a new type of bloom course, called Bountiful Course. This new type of course will burst very quickly after being created and then have larger AoEs. It's worth knowing that this course cannot trigger Hyper Bloom or Burgeon, and they share an upper numerical limit with the normal Dendro course. And their damage is considered damage dealt by Dendro course produced by Bloom. And if you don't meet the requirements of your party with all the Hydro and Dendro, you will not make use of this passive. To summarize this big gap, for 30 seconds after you trigger your skill 3 times, either by using skill or basic attacks, everyone in your team will create special blooms, and this will only happen if you have only Dendro and Hydro party members. On her second ascension passive, Dreamy Dance of Aeons, every 1000 points of Nilou's max HP above 30,000 will cause the damage dealt by her special blooms to increase by 9%, and the maximum increase in Bountiful Core damage that can be achieved this way is 400%, meaning that you would need around 75k HP to maximize this passive. Her talent priorities are actually funny to talk about. If you wish to play Nilou for creating special blooms, as her main purpose is, you don't need to level up anything, since the damage of her blooms are based on the normal blooms, which only care about the character's max level and EM, and on her case, HP as well thanks to her passive. But if you want to play Nilou as a normal DPS, your talent priorities are the following: focus on your skill, then your burst, and for less your normal attacks, which you can leave at level 1. Her best insult artifact set, if you wish to play her correctly, will be a combination of 2-piece from sets that provide HP %, because your main goal, if you want to play Nilou to create those special blooms, is stacking the maximum HP you can on her. But if you wish to play her as a normal DPS, you can use a mix and match of 2 pieces between the sets that provide HP %, hydro damage, and or EM. If you wish to build her for the bloom damage, you will want HP % on the Sands, HP % on the Goblet, and HP % on the Circlet as well. And for the subsets, you should focus on HP %, ER, and EM. If you wish to build her as a normal DPS, you will want HP % on the Sands, hydro damage on the Goblet, and crits on the Circlet. And for the substats, you should focus on crits, HP, ER, and EM. For Nilou weapons, if you want to maximize the damage of her blooms, her best insult will be her signature Key of Kagejitsu, providing a lot of HP on its substat, and a passive that buffs even more your HP and your team's EM based on your max HP. Her second best option will be the Dog's Land Assistant, which is also her best 4-star option. This weapon provides you a good amount of HP on its substat, and its passive will increase your EM based on the stacks you gain when you use her skill after being healed. And for those who don't have any of these options, any sword that provides EM on its substat will be a decent pick, since that also provides a damage increase to your blooms. And for those who are going to make Nilou as a DPS, her best insult will be the Jade Cutter, since it provides a lot of crits on its substat and a bit of HP on its passive. And if you don't have it, another good options are among the Splendor of the Tranquil Waters, Wolffang, and Arbiter of Dawn. For Nilou teams, she will always perform better in Bloom teams, but since some players like to go against character's main purpose, let's now have a look on some team options. For a Bloom team, pair her with Hydro and Dendro characters, and instead of naming those, I will leave them all here for you to have a look and decide for yourself. For a Vape team, pair her with Bennett, Xiangling, and Kazuha. For a Freeze team, pair her with Kaya, Rosaria, and Kazuha. For a Taser team, pair her with Fischl, Beidou, and you guessed it, Kazuha. And for a Mono Hydro team, pair her with Furina, Yelan, and Jean. Don't forget you can always make it work with characters that function similarly with the ones I mentioned. And even though I gave you some team options to play Nilou outside Bloom teams, they are not optimal and you will always have more results from a Bloom team. Feel free to ask me in the comments for suggestions on teams or characters if you need them. I will now quickly showcase my Nilou Bloom team on the Abyss 12 for you guys to have an idea of her gameplay.
Remember, help comes first.
Things are about to get tight.
All eyes on me. Committed to memory.
Protect you with fear. Gotcha.
Growl, growl, growl.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Game's up. Fun's over. Busted.
Make yourselves at home. This dance is for you.
Seems like an emergency.
Quietly now.
Let's play tournament. Positions.
Things are about to get dicey.
Mind the side effects.
I see everything. The Temple of Wisdom. All eyes on me.
Taking a turn for the better.
Gotcha. Game's up. Fun's over.
Growl, growl, growl. Protect you with fear.
So what's your opinion about Nilou? Is she still worth your pulse? In my opinion, she's a very good character at fulfilling a niche such as Bloom. So if you are bored of the current teams you have and you want to try something more risky, you will for sure have fun with Nilou. But you, what do you think about her? I hope with this video you are not able to understand if she's worth for you to have on your account or not. Share this video with everyone you know that it's going to pull for her or is still thinking about it. 97% of you are not subscribed, so please, it just costs some seconds of your life and you don't have any idea of how much it helps me. A special thanks to my members for trying to support me even more, and thank you so much for this pleasure company. See you every Wednesday and Saturday, stay safe and good luck on your pulls.